The end of the 2018 PGA Tour season is rapidly approaching. The final WGC Bridgestone is set to be held at Firestone Country Club for the last time. Next year, the event moves to Memphis. The final major championship of the year, the PGA, will be held in Belle Reve Country Club in St. Louis, and the tour will slide into the FedEx Cup playoffs. The 46 event schedule for 2018-2019 has been released with several changes. Most notably, the PGA Championship will move from its traditional August time slot to May, forcing the Players Championship to return to its original date in March. This gives the PGA Tour a major tournament every month beginning in April with the Masters. The FedEx Cup has been reduced to 3 events, with the 125-player Northern Trust held at the beginning of August. The following week, 70 players will compete in the BMW, and the season will wrap up with the 30-player Tour Championship at the end of August. That will allow the PGA Tour season to complete before collegiate and professional football get rolling. 2 new tournaments have been added: the Rocket Mortgage Classic, which will be held in June in Detroit, and the 3M Open, which was previously on the Champions Tour, will be held at TPC Twin Cities in July. With all of the movement of dates, the RBC Canadian Open is moving from late July to early June and will be the lead-in to the US Open. The Puerto Rico Open is back on the schedule after its cancellation this year due to the devastation of Hurricane Maria. Puerto Rico is slotted for February opposite the World Golf Championship, Mexico. 2 old tournaments, the Houston Open and the Greenbrier, are moving to the fall but will not be played in 2018. They will next reappear at the end of 2019 after the FedEx Cup playoffs. The Open Championship now becomes the final major of the year, and just a couple of weeks before the start of the FedEx Cup playoffs. The Open is certainly big enough to stand on its own 2 feet and not be overlooked as the PGA Championship has been in the past. With the major championship courses next year being Augusta, Bethpage Black, Pebble Beach, and Royal Portrush in Ireland for the first time in 70 years, we will see some very exciting courses for those great championships. The PGA Tour is very tired of seeing their ratings going in the tank as soon as football starts every year, and I'm sure TV executives wanted the big events over so they can spend more time on football coverage. Whether or not these are good changes, only time will tell. The USGA Sarah Hirschfield was named the Olympic Committee's CEO. With all of the problems that the U.S. Olympic Committee has been experiencing over the past few years, it was time to bring in some new blood to shake things up. But is Hirschfield the right choice? The major golf associations in the world, the PGA, the USGA, the PGA Tour, and the LPGA, are all made up of very capable managers who could jump to the aid of the Olympic Committee. Sarah Hirschfield has been in charge of business decisions for the USGA and helped secure the huge television deal with Fox in 2013 that has been a financial boom for the USGA, but not so much for Fox. The US Open has received very low TV ratings for the last 2 years. With the Olympic Committee racked with scandal of sexual assault of women, a female head of the Olympic Committee seems to be a wise and natural progression to prevent such an aberration in the future. Golf just recently returned to the Olympics in 2016 at Rio de Janeiro, but it rapidly proved to be a financial home run for the Olympics, generating millions of dollars of income from sponsors. Nothing speaks louder than a pocket full of cash. Hirschfield will bring an intricate knowledge of television and income generation strategies to the Olympic Committee. Mike Davis said of Hirschfield, "Sarah has been a wonderful, impactful leader as we have worked to preserve, protect, and enhance the game of golf. With golf's return to the Olympics a couple of years ago, the game already has a strong working relationship with the United States Olympic Committee, and now with Sarah at the helm, this connection will only be strengthened. With the departure of Hirschfield from the USGA, all who have helped engineer the 12-year Fox arrangement have left for greener pastures. The Open Championship was held not too long ago, and I have some final thoughts. We witnessed a great Open Championship held on one of the world's best golf courses, Carnoustie. The USGA should take notice. The R&A did not demand any massive changes to the iconic course, even when the fairways were completely brown and firm as a parking lot, which allowed 400-yard drives. No one panicked. The winning total of 8 under par by Francisco Molinari, while the other leaders were all making bogeys and double bogeys, was a thing of true beauty. Tiger Woods only needed to make a few pars, and he could have hoisted his 15th major championship, but the bogey bug caught him, and he finished tied for 6th. 60-year-old Bernhard Langer just keeps amazing golf fans across the globe. He not only made the cut, but finished inside the top 25. Jordan Spieth put on strong defense of his title, but in the end, too many errant drives did him in. Carnoustie got the best of both the world number 1, Dustin Johnson, and number 2, Justin Thomas, as both missed the 36-hole cut. In the end, the main storyline was Carnoustie. Once again, it proved it is a stern but fair test of golf that gets the attention of even the best golfers in the world. I can't wait to see the next Open Championship held at Carnoustie. I truly hope the USGA took notice of how the R&A let the golf course stand up for itself. They didn't try to trick it up or alter it in any way. 8 under par is certainly not blitzing the course and is a very respectable score for the best golfers in the world. The U.S. Senior Women's Open was recently hosted by the USGA at the historic Chicago Golf Club. It was the first ever Senior Women's Open, and it was certainly not the most watched golf event that week, or even the third, but I think it is one of the most important new events in the game of golf. Chicago Golf Club is steeped in history, and they have been playing major championships since 1897 on the venerable course. This was the 12th USGA championship conducted there. The club also hosted Walker Cup matches in 1928 and again in 2005. With the addition this year of the U.S. Senior Women's Open, the Legends Tour now has 2 major championships for women over the age of 50. The USGA accepted 462 entries, and the field was comprised of 120 women, including 29 amateurs. There were 15 former U.S. Women's Open champions in the field and 6 U.S. Women's Amateur champions. Familiar names included Julie Inkster, now over the age of 50, is still relevant on the LPGA Tour. Trish Johnson won last year's Senior LPGA Championship at French Lick, and she already won earlier this year in Seattle on the Legends Tour. Pat Bradley has 31 career LPGA Tour wins and 6 major championship titles. Joanne Carner didn't turn pro until she was 30, amassed 5 U.S. Women's AM titles, and won 43 LPGA Tour events, including the U.S. Women's Open twice. She was able to shoot her age 79 and make the 36-hole cut at the Chicago Golf Club, a very impressive feat for anyone, man or woman. Jane Blaylock was in the field, started the Legends Tour, and won 27 LPGA titles in her career. But the most important name turned out to be Laura Davies, who completely dominated the championship and won the inaugural U.S. Senior Women's Open. Creating a major championship for senior women is an idea that has probably been too long coming. Women and juniors are the fastest growing segments of golf. We have seen the success the LPGA Tour is having, and the growth of the women's golf events on the local level are bringing more and more ladies to the game. Women over the age of 50 should be inspired by these exceptional lady golfers and encouraged to pick up the game. These senior ladies can still play and are a joy to watch. The swings are not the cookie cutter variety we see on any tour of Today, these swings were learned at a young age from their fathers, mothers, uncles, and aunts. These ladies were trailblazers on the LPGA Tour, or women who have loved the game but took time to raise families and now are able to compete and show the world their abilities. Holding this first U.S. Senior Women's Open at Chicago Golf Club was a stroke of genius. Although I was disappointed it was held in the same town and at the same time as the Champions Tour's Senior Players Championship, this is, however, another example that golf is growing, especially in the heartland of America. Congrats to all of the women who earned a spot in the inaugural U.S. Senior Women's Open, as well as the USGA and the LPGA for getting this important tournament started. Well, that's our show for today. We hope you visit OhioGolfJournal.com and MichiganGolfJournal.com for the latest golf information and news. We also feature monthly drawings and giveaways there. Until the next time, I hope we see you on the back nine.